Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
This evening we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 27, entitled Attack by Chandravedi on the city of King Puranjana. Text 18. Saeva Puryam Madhubhuk Panchaleshu Swaparshadai Upanitam Balim Grihnan Strijito Na Vidat Bhayam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. King Puranjana collected taxes in the city known as Panchala and thus was able to engage in sexual indulgence. Being completely under the control of women, he could not understand that his life was passing away and that he was reaching the point of death. Report. Government men, including kings, presidents, secretaries, and ministers, are in position to utilize taxes collected from the citizens for sense gratification. It is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that in this Kali Yuga, government men, Rajanyas, and those connected with the government, as well as exalted government ministers, secretaries, and presidents, will all simply collect taxes for sense gratification. The government is top heavy, and without increasing taxes, the government cannot maintain itself. When taxes are collected, they are utilized for sense gratification of the government officials. Such irresponsible politicians forget that there is a time when death will come to take away all their sense gratification. Some of them are convinced that after life, everything is finished. This atheistic theory was conceived long ago by a philosopher called Charvaka. Charvaka recommended that man should live very opulently by either begging, borrowing, or stealing. He also maintained that one should not be afraid of death, the next life, past life, or an impious life, because after the body is burned to ashes, everything is finished. This is the philosophy of those who are too much materially addicted. Such philosophizing will not save one from the danger of death, nor will it save one from an abominable afterlife. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Vedanta Swaminiti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Vishatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Shri Sari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Any points from last discussion? Maybe you can sit behind. Yes.
There was a serpent to protect.
There was a serpent.
Protect the city, and he would be
Protect the city.
the presence represented by the body.
I'm sorry?
The city
Behind means completely behind.
King Puranjan city is represented by the human body.
Okay, King Puranjan city is representing human body, and
Serpent is to protect the city.
who is the serpent?
The living force.
Living force, okay. So used to protect the body, okay.
But it grew weak as time passed away.
Okay, but it grew weak as time passed away, okay, and was no longer able to, hey, we lost connection. We lost connection, Suraj. Huh? But do something here now. Yeah. See, Rohit left the meeting. Hey, Baba, do something fast. People are waiting. So the five-hooded serpent started feeling the impact of the attacking soldiers on the city walls. So we said, who are the soldiers? Abai, who are the soldiers that are attacking? They're from China. Today there was some news. China again occupied some parts of India. They're just not stopping. They're so, aggressive. And India can't do anything. India is too weak. No? It's just like five-headed serpent. And nothing can be done. It's funny. It's not funny. It's funny and it's not funny. I mean, so what do you do? It's an influence. So who are the soldiers who are attacking? Our body, the walls of our city. Huh? Who are the soldiers? They're from where? Also from somewhere northeast or where they're coming from? Who are those soldiers? Huh? Wait a second, wrong answer. Huh? No, yes. All of those who have no idea about anything, have never attended any classes earlier or something, speculating, literally. Polo, you've been there last time. Maya. No, it's not Maya. Come on. Okay, enlighten them. Days and nights. That means time. That means time. Time affects and attacks and everybody. No, it's time. Day and nights. Gandharvis and Gandharvas. No, they were figuratively. They're allegorically described like that. So they were attacking these life heirs, and life heirs were weakened. So as the time goes, you see when the old age sets in, you weaken. You become very weak, incapable of so many things as You were capable earlier sometimes, like now maybe you think I'm very capable. I'm doing fitness and I can, I have very strong stamina or something, whatever. But you see, as the time sets, that will not help. Because this onslaught on the city walls, it's constant. Like we know, if you expose the stone to repeated water dropping, right? At some point it may create a hole, no? So time and any kind of other energy affecting it, it's affecting everyone. Of course, that's entropy or whatever you may call it. Everything disintegrates in the course of time. It's just the nature, it's a law. So like this, the five-headed serpent, so that's what we have to be very aware of. Whatever our condition is now, it's not going to be the same condition in the future, because the nature of body, it's the temporary nature. It's not eternal. And the body will break down. It's already breaking down to some extent, but at the old age, you won't be able to retain it anymore. And when the body breaks down, then what happens? The soul is forced to be pulled out of the body or to leave the body. The body is not functional. Yeah. Okay, any other points?
Old age, one is not able to enjoy any sense gratification.
Okay, in old age, yes, one is not able to enjoy anything. How can you enjoy? Senses are dull, senses are irresponsive. How can you enjoy anything? So it becomes very difficult. Old age is a very difficult position, yes?
People use the process of yoga just to enjoy sense gratification.
Okay. Well, people misuse yoga for sense gratification, but even then, you'll get old. You won't be able to. Still, you may postpone aging to some extent, but you cannot stop it. Eventually, it will affect you or anybody else. What? You would.
You gave the example of like not only old age, takes life. It's like death can come at any time. You gave example.
Yes, so not only. Not only that. Old age had to set in, but we may leave the body any moment. Anything may happen. Yeah.
About the replication of cells.
Yeah, old age cells are not replicating as they are now. The quality becomes lesser and lesser and lesser. And it's just, we give example of a Xerox machine or something. They use the same print over and over, becomes pale, becomes blurred, becomes weak, becomes not so prominent. Okay, any other point aside of that? So Puranjana became very anxious last time. He understood. The soldiers, like the soldiers are breaking in. Once the soldiers start breaking in the city, hopes are pretty much low. Hopes are pretty much low. It's just like a dam crack, no? You have one little crack, any moment the whole thing will burst out. You won't be able to hold it. You can hold it as long as everything is safe and solid and strong, no? Once that it's not the case anymore, then everything can just collapse. They invented a very interesting method of strong walls to some 2 centuries ago. They used to have, like you go to Rajasthan, you can see, or even here, you can see some forts that are just made of stone. But if you have a cannons and you bombard the stones, everything will break down. It will collapse. And you might think, no, this is very strong, this is very powerful, this will last. No, it won't. Because if you use the cannons repeatedly, they'll just crumble the walls down. So they figured out, they used another technique. So what they did, they made the walls out of what? What do you think? What they made the walls out? You know that story of 3 piglets? Little pig, little pig. What is it? Let me in. The wolf came, and it's like the wolf came on the Harley, And anyway, that's the story. So they built the house, but so what do you make the walls out? I mean, the walls of the fortress, and they figured out another thing. They're very interesting. So, like here in India, you will see, except one fort which I haven't seen, and maybe I ever will, but I heard of. But mostly, okay, I've seen another one. So that all came later. But in it, all the walls are they're just walls, rectangular, or they're just walls according to shape of the heel or whatever it is. But they came with another ingenious idea. They made the sides like what do you think? Like what? Star-shaped. Star-shaped. So that from no angle, practically, you can't reach up. And all the angles are defendable. Star-shaped. So anyway, they made the walls of the soil of the earth. And then within that, they put the tiles on the wall, they put a stone on that wall. So then what it happens? When you can on the wall, then it hits the rock, but the rock doesn't crumble. The earth absorbs the shock of the impact. And in this way, the wall remains steady. So this is like nowadays, different kinds of pills and creams to stop the aging. So they'll figure out something. And yoga, let's say yoga, can do yoga. Yoga is a black snake. Oops, according to Chaitanya Charitamrita. Anyway, it's a different discussion. So that you might think, yes, this will save us, but after repeated striking, no, those kind of walls will also be affected. So no matter what you do to your body, however you want to protect it and retain it, whatever, at some point also it will just break down. So that's why in last verse we were discussing, King Puranjana became, and all his friends, citizens, everybody, became so worried because they understood they can't defend that. We can't defend ourselves anymore. It means we're going to die. How does it feel when you ever had a feeling now, I may die now? Anybody had that feeling? Anybody have been close to Mr. Yamaraj? Did you feel his presence? Anybody had that? Yeah, you did? You had fever, huh? Okay, very high fever. Yeah, maybe that's... Anyway, I had also a few times. Close darshan almost. Anyway, these are different stories. So yeah, it's you just start losing it. There's nothing much you can do. Sometimes there's just nothing you can do. Completely understand how dependable we are and how you can't really preserve this body. There's nothing you can really do about it. So we see King Puranjana, he understood now. It's over. It's over, it's like the five-hooded serpent, the protector of the city, it's becoming weaker and weaker. And you start giving it up. Start giving up. What do? Surrender. Yeah, you surrender or you fight till the last. But even if you surrender, you finish. No, who knows what can happen. Ultimately, you have to get out of the city. You won't be allowed to remain in the same city. No, that's the point. So it's adding to analogy. So like that was the last discussion. Puranjana became very anxious. But before that, now what we're discussing today, he was collecting taxes. And Srila Prabhupada points out that what is these taxes? what was he doing? He was facilitating his sense enjoyment. He was facilitating his sex life, which is considered to be the most prominent type of sense enjoyment. And then I'll just jump down to Srila Prabhupada's conclusion a little bit. In the purport, he said that Charvaka, that's the intonation. That's the pronunciation. The matras, long A's, charvaka, two long A's. Anyway, so he recommended that man should live very opulently by either begging, borrowing, or stealing. So that's atheistic philosophy, which doesn't account for any future life, neither previous life, just this life. So if you want to enjoy it, you're going to die anyway. No? You're going to die anyway. So better now, whenever you can, enjoy the life. Whenever you can, just enjoy life, have fun. Doesn't matter what you do. Just go on partying, Go on partying your brain. I mean, that's just enjoy the life. Beg, borrow, steal, atheistic philosophy. That's from the beginning of the creation of the universe. That kind of philosophy goes on, and it will continue, because that's what people are coming to this universe for, to fulfill such kind of desires. So beg, borrow, steal, because you don't have to be afraid of death or the next life, because he said, when the body is burned to ashes, everything is finished. So why worrying? Why worrying? Wasn't so conversant about the law of action and reaction and conservation of energy. But whatever. That was philosophy of those who are too much materially addicted. Because if you have to start to worry about how many reactions are there, but then how would you be able to enjoy? No? You start thinking, if I steal and then I get caught, what will happen? But then you won't steal. No? And then if you don't steal, you have no means for enjoyment. No? So then better not to worry about that. What will happen? Better just, whatever is going on, just enjoy as much as you can. That's materialistic, atheistic philosophy. But Srila Prabhupada points out, said such philosophizing will not save one from the danger of death, nor it will save one from an abominable afterlife. So that's what those who have no knowledge or don't want to have knowledge, or just want to remain in ignorance, they don't want to think about it. That's why people they say, why discussing about that? That's such a boring, meaningless subject matter. No, why should we discuss about that? But it's actually very exciting for devotees. It's very exciting. No? It's better to be out of this body as soon as possible, and attain something that it's eternal, full of bliss and knowledge type of existence. But of course, for materialists, when they think, oh, this is the end of it, it's just like a catastrophe. It's just like an absolute disaster. So it's very depressing. So why would anybody want to call upon any depression, create any depression? No. So they don't want to discuss about it, because they think that's it, that's the end. Just like today we went to cremation ground, no? We went there and kirtan was going on. One devotee left the body, and we saw how they're piling the wood and then applying ghee on the body, putting some sandal twigs, also, and then more wood on top of the body, and then they put the fire. Of course, they did this little ritual with the water, 3 times around, inviting all the tirthas to kind of signify the bathing of the body. And then they're set the fire and the body was burning. Well, that was it. They say, then that's it. That's life. The body is gone. The body is finished. Yeah, that's life. So everybody will have to go through that. Everybody. Is there anyone's body there that you think it will last forever? Would you like to be in this body forever? Huh? You like your body? Anybody here likes its own body? You're really excited about it? You think it's perfect? Huh?
Not hating it too much.
You don't hate it too much. Okay, not too much. You think it's very good. But why are you complaining about that? You're naked and stuff. Yeah, so that's why. You still think you can enjoy. Okay. You can squeeze something out of that body. Anyway, maybe. We'll have discussion afterwards. I don't want to embarrass you now publicly.
I'm happy now.
You're happy now. Okay.
It's the accumulation of everything that you would like. See, how many people know that they are stuck in a simulation? Now I know. So like I'm happy with whatever like comparing it with the.
No, that's fine. But I'm saying, are you attached? Are you attached to your body?
I'm not.
No, you're not attached. You can change to somebody. You're ready.
If I'm getting a better body.
If you get a better one, so okay, that's my point. Everybody's looking for something better, But there's nothing like better. Everybody has its limits,
This guy who is the strongest man.
Strongest men, and strongest men die of heart attack or something else, and yeah, no, or they get cancer, or I've seen. I mean, I've heard. I've read so many so-called strongest men. They're not so strong anymore. In the course of time, and ultimately they also succumb to some trouble, disease, this and that, or some bacteria. Strongest man and little bacteria just knocks you out. No? So funny. Strongest man and he gets flu, or something, or something even worse. So yes, so enjoy the body. That's the grossest materialistic philosophy. Enjoy the body, squeeze out of the body whatever you can. But you see, it said here, like Charvaka said, because when bodies burn to ashes, then everything is over. Everything is over. So then why worrying? Anyway, everything will be over. Okay, at least he points out that there is end. But before end comes, have fun. That's his philosophy. Have fun. Enjoy. Enjoy as much as you can. So that's what we also were pointing out, how people do go to such kind of burning guts, And there is another proverb or maxim that it's said in that regard, and it's called Sham Sham Vairagya, That's experience of a burning gut. See what is body. And if you would have known anybody very closely, and you see that body burning, it's like, because that's all that you've ever known. You've just known the body. You never knew the person. So where is the person? The thing that you knew, it just becomes burnt and finished in some short period of time. It becomes life, enjoyment of that person over. So they start thinking, well, no, is that it? Is that it? But again, as soon as they leave the graveyard, as soon as they, leave that kind of environment, back to old business. enjoy your senses. I think there is in Shastra, it is said that those who enjoy sex life at that day, if somebody passed in their family, they go to terrible hell. I read somewhere projections like this, or someone who does shraddha and indulges in sex life or something like this. Priest goes to hell, even he knows or he doesn't know, he does it for some. Go to hell, everybody goes to hell. It's pretty heavy. So you go to the crematorium and then you see burning body and everything, then you then try to someone else's body. It's extremely simple. It's just also kind of low consciousness. You know, someone might be having. So very simple, very disgusting. A little bit, maybe for we lost connection. Chalu nahi hai. It's them saying we lost it, you know. Okay. See, I'm seeing it. That's right. So like this, we have to remind ourselves. So it's not depressive, it's actually very enlightening, because then you live life with some purpose, with some higher sense, with higher pleasure. Sensual body, disease and death. That's why we do this body. Look at the mirror and try to make this body like this. And the body boards so much. That's a better to identify. Or you want to identify those because those sufferings are greater than enjoyment. Connection is not there. Now it's back again. See. Okay, so let's conclude this. So Srila Prabhupada points out that yes, that's what King did. He was collecting taxes, he wanted to enjoy. So he said in the purport, he said that that's what government does. That's what kings do. That's what anybody in a position do. We know the story of Govardhan Majumdar, right? He was accused of taking more money than what he was supposed to. He was collecting taxes, right? So he wanted more. So it's just natural tendency. It just happens. That was in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then Raghunath Das Goswami had to relieve the situation. Yeah. So that's what everybody does. And then there was another greater story of Ramachandra Khan, right? He was caught taking way more, and then Muslims came and then they killed the cow in his courtyard and then ate the cow there. Very, very heavy. And then they, the whole, they burned that house, and many even villagers had to be, they were just chased out of that village. Whole village suffered because this fellow committed heavy offenses towards Haridas Thakur and Lord Nityananda. You know that story? You don't know that story, yeah? Well, we'll talk tomorrow. It's just a class on signature time. I have time now. So like this, anyway, anybody who has access, we know where is Kali. Kali is in money, no? Kali is in wealth, Kali is in gold. Wherever you have money, what do you think? For Shudra, money is the wealth. No? Immediately starts thinking, precious, sense gratification. As soon as he gets money, he starts thinking, how am I going to enjoy? How am I going to get this? Am I going to get some liquor? Am I going to get some girls? Am I going to get some, flesh to chew upon. That's immediately what it is. So unfortunately, not just somebody who is Shudra, but even everybody else. Like we see government men, kings, presidents, secretaries, ministers, this, that. Prabhupada points out, anybody who has money, facilities, immediately used for sense gratification. Because that's what unfortunately people don't know anything better how to utilize the wealth or Lakshmi. So then they try to exploit it themselves. And they end up in more trouble because where is the end of accumulating and gaining Lakshmi now? So they also try to extract it by so many illegal means. And in this way they put themselves in so much trouble. Anyway, there are plenty of examples, plenty of scams, plenty of things going on, cheatings and stealings and so many different kinds of stuff going on. Okay, we'll stop here. Any questions on this subject?
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, Prabhuji, as you were explaining about that
Can't hear.
as you were explaining about that at the end the body burns into ashes,
Okay.
and we've been taught that. Am I audible, sir?
A little better now. More sort of increase.
Okay. So, as we have been taught that body moves from one body to another, the soul moves from one body to another body as per karmas. So, are rituals like going through the Garud Puran, having the Chautha or Tervi very important for a soul to rest in peace?
Yes, they are, because they allow that living being to carry on some positive reactions to the next body and make utility out of them. Otherwise, those become locked. So they become kind of like frozen, and that living soul won't be able to take advantage of those. So that's why these rituals have to be performed. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anything else? It's like you have a bank account, but you don't have access to it. So then you have to start on a harder note, in the next life. But when one performs rituals properly, then that leads to purification. That's one thing, and that leads to ability to gain some credits from the previous life.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
As you said that whenever a person dies, we see actually a person how the body is gone.
Okay.
But still, like there may be acceptance of that particular fact, but the effect of it won't be much.
That's what we said. The effect is not much. When we see bodies burning, its effect is more if you have been more closer to that person. It's a little longer lasting effect. How long lasting? That depends on what kind of illusion we are in. If we are in deep illusion, they immediately become covered and forgetful. Material energy's influence is extremely powerful. It just covers us and we forget. And we continue being sinful. Yes, last question.
How do we draw the line? Because
We don't draw the lines.
No, I'm asking the line about our approach towards life. But how do we draw the line about? See, death is coming for sure.
Okay.
That's a reality. So we can consider that as that's a realistic approach. But death is coming and somebody is contemplating on it is a nihilistic approach. We are really scared. Let's assume that person
No,
lives
why?
for 75 years.
Why?
Like he's just contemplating that is coming, that
No, that depends. The attitude of
so that line where
Okay,
the line is drawn.
well, we don't have to contemplate about that. We should contemplate about Krishna consciousness. We just have to be conscious that we are not the body. If you're Krishna conscious, then you won't identify so much with the body, and whether the death comes or it doesn't, it won't matter so much to you. So therefore it won't be depressive, it won't be negative, it won't be, like terrifying to consider that approach, because that's what Prabhupada, when the Japanese were bombing Calcutta, right? And everybody was running into basement for shelter, Prabhupada still had his meal. No, he said, he I didn't want to leave prasada. So then his point was, and even if the bomb comes, how do you see that? You see it as Krishna. Oh, Krishna is coming, but it's in wrathful form. So whatever form that is, everywhere you see Krishna. You see Krishna in any form, in any way. So that's why he was not terrified by it. So you see Krishna. You see everything in connection to Krishna consciousness. So then you won't be frightened. Like Arjuna was frightened by universal form. Right? That's terrifying. But essentially, when he was in association of Krishna, he was not terrified. But still, like, okay, a better example, Prahlad. No? Was he terrified of Nrsimha? The whole universe was trembling. Was Prahlad terrified? Everybody else sent him, you go. Because of you, the Lord appeared. You give the garland. Nobody else there. But was he terrified? No, because he saw Krishna. So you don't have to see death. Krishna says, death I am. So if you see it as Krishna, why would you be terrified? Okay, try that. See,
actually, I had a follow-up question, and you exactly mentioned that thing, that you gave the analogy of Prabhupada.
Okay.
That. So we often give the examples of some acharyas or like some big names like Prahlad Maharaj. Maybe that is happening with me, like I'm gonna run away first. So where do we know that that is our limitation? Let's suppose
where we know our limitations. Well, we know our limitations. You
Tomorrow
don't have to imitate.
Bomb is actually coming here. Then,
Well, you can't be foolish either.
Yeah,
Right?
it will be. Wouldn't it be
So it's some common sense. So common sense.
Yeah.
Some common sense is required. Okay.
And because isn't that going to be very subjective? The optics?
Yeah, it's gonna be very. It's gonna be. It's gonna be very objective.
Form of Krishna and Akash Raya.
Yeah. No, it's gonna be very objective.
It's gonna. So even like we take Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's example, that he worshipped Krishna in such a way, and then at point like we say.
Well, they also say preservation of life is the highest law, highest principle. Because if we have this body, then we can use this body to serve Krishna. So we don't challenge material nature, or we don't unnecessarily expose this body to some, dangerous circumstances. No, we should not do this. So one can use his common sense. But if that happens and there's nothing you can do about it, then the point is, see, that's Krishna's arrangement. Okay, we'll stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol.